Hi everybody, this is Q Business Talks. Today we have with us Moritz Neise from Medi, one of the world leaders in healthcare industry and one of our loyal customers. So Moritz, welcome, great to see you. I see that you have beautiful campus behind you.
Thanks for the invite, Filip. Yeah, I'm on the construction site, so don't worry if it's a bit noisy. We're building our future here. So.
Tell us about Medi, tell us your story. I think it's quite fascinating. Share the story with us.
You know, we started out almost 7 years ago at this specific site. Our founder fled East Germany at the time, so it was very risky for him to start out with just one machine. We have hundreds right now. We are very happy to be growing in that pace, and you know, the building behind me, our campus, just tells me that we're on the right track.
So what exactly do you do?
Well, I personally, I'm in the IT and digital development team as a business and digital solutions manager. So I'm responsible for creating and doing all the funny work with Q. And basically, I'm just there for our business to grow and to have their needs met from the IT side of things.
And where do you see Medi in 2025, let's say?
Well, that's quite a hard timeline to envision because it's like 4 years, so much can happen, like we learned. I think we have like a lot of ideas and process in place for things we want to do. So there's always something on the list, but I think just in general, I think we are very excited to expand our business further because right now we're very reliant on our B2B network, and we want to take this and put it more into the direction of the consumer or the patient in this case, so that we can be there when they need us, like I just said. Mm-hmm. So that's, for me, it's the biggest future vision we have, aside from MediVision, of course, that we already built with you. And I'm excited for that to happen whenever the healthcare market gets more digital.
Speaking about going digital, how does Q help here?
Well, you know, I can't even start where you start to help because basically you can count, or we can count on you basically everywhere we need you. So I think the real thing or the most important thing for me in working with Q is that we're not the client and you're the agency rather than we're partners, you know. So every once in a while when it's possible we pay each other a visit. I think that's contrary to what you had on the first episode of the Business Talks. We like to be in person. Mm-hmm. We're a bit old-fashioned there in this regard. And just from your growth, we can take a lot in terms of your process. So this is something that I really appreciate about us, that you know, you're not just doing what we ask you to, rather than you're really reflecting on what we want and always exceeding the expectations in this regards. The very first product or project we've been working on, that was actually because not we chose you in particular, but because, you know, Adrian was very pushy about having a meeting and having a coffee. So at one point we felt very pitiful for him, and we thought, okay, yeah, I'm so sorry, so let's talk. And actually we got together, and so that was our first start. We had a great vision in mind. We wanted to digitize the measuring process because, as you can imagine, if you come in as a patient with a leg, you usually have to take a lot of measurements, you know, by hand. And we thought, okay, why not use technology to solve this? So our idea was to combine an infrared scanner with an iPad and an app. And these three components were able to accelerate the process, because previously, you know, when you walked in there, you had like half an hour of measuring, half an hour of ordering, so a full hour was gone. And so we digitized this, and with the combination, you can scan, measure, and upload them into our B2B online shop in less than 3 minutes. So it's really helpful to take the time off from those routines, you know, because they're, you know, it's not very exciting to take measurements from a leg. So you go in maybe 2 or 3 times. It's very, very exciting to get to know the feeling, but you have to take like 45 measuring points. So that's not really something that everybody's fancying. And therefore the app that we built is making life a lot easier for these users And on this plus side, they are always connected. They have all the options in the online shop, so it's very integrated tightly. And this was the first project we've worked on together. And I think there we really had a good growing path. So we started out with just a rough idea, you know, we said, hey, let's do an MVP. Let's try and see if this is working. Let's try and see if this is any value to anybody. We got the feedback. We said, hey, this is really cool. This could be something, you know. And then when we knew it was good, we started to build, you know, we started to build the new version. We started with designing. We started even a design system. So it wasn't just the small app anymore. It's like a real product right now. And it has needs, you know, and therefore I think this is a really great example of both having excellent first response in terms of we needed a quick MVP team ready. Was there less than 3 days even, I would say, at least from my memory. And right now, like almost 2 years later, we have a full-grown product team dedicated on the project. We're dedicated on the project, and we're trying to do great things together. And so far, it's been very exciting to do that.
Maybe we can touch upon the German Innovation Award, maybe mention 1 or 2 solutions that we created together.
Yeah, so I guess the most rewarding or most concrete sign of our results or success is the German Innovation Award. We won another one, the Plus X Award for comfort and ease of use. So I think the real value creation itself is, of course, the apps that we're building and the way that we're building them with the teams that we're using to do so. But I think just overall, something that I've always mentioned in the past when I talked about you in particular was the way you approach the problem in terms of not just finding a solution rather than really reflecting on what's behind that, you know, what is the goal, what is the outcome that we want to achieve, and then on that you make great suggestions in all aspects from design to development. So we could always count on you, and I think that's just the greatest in creating the value that we need, because like I just said, everything is becoming more digital, so it's for us it's very important to have this partnership in the pocket and not you know, be on our own.
And I always like to ask this question: if Q was an animal, which animal would that be?
Yeah, I've been. I just Googled, you know, the greatest leadership examples of animals for that kind of stuff. And so I could go with like lions and wolves and ants and all of that. But I really think that you're like the chameleon. You're always adapting. So no matter what we need from you, you always change color based on the environment that we're in currently. We never had any real issues with you guys. So the team was always great to have. It always was there when we needed it. We could, like, I don't like talk about this people in that way, but we could always scale according to our needs. You know, you always had somebody there to help us out, always had a fresh idea. And you basically just kept surviving all this time without real any big trouble. So I would say chameleon is right there when we need it, but you don't notice it right away, but we can always count on it.
Well, what do you like most about your job? Is it the fact that you can be very innovative and you can bring new ideas to the table all the time?
I think the most interesting is really both the familiarity and the innovation that we have. Because when most organizations grow, at a certain level you start to lose touch, you know? Mm-hmm. Here, I can walk by the founders, you see them every day if you want to. They interact with you as like a normal quote-unquote person. So it doesn't feel like a corporate job, you know? That's maybe the thing I like most. It feels like family. I like to be here. Even on Sundays, you know, yesterday we installed a little bit of a sound wall in the office. So to me, it's this plus all the interactions that we have. So I can interview patients, I can interview retailers, I can interview everybody I want. Everybody's very open to share their thoughts and their ideas. And this to me is like the biggest joy when you find out that something that you've been thinking is actually a problem in the world. And you're not just, you know, theoretically solving any problems, rather than you have a real thing or a real person in front of yourself that has this problem that you're trying to solve, and you can measure that.
For end, what are your final thoughts that you would like to share with us?
I think that in almost any talk I had, it was always quite weird, to say, okay, we have development teams in Croatia, because everybody's thinking, okay, you're like taking the bargaining thing. But I think it's not for economic reasons that we're being together. So I really appreciate, also your invitation here to really show, the world, hopefully Oprah, I heard, is your next goal, to be more open about, talent that is in the world and not just looking where they are, because I think it provided us with great opportunities to get together with great people, and we had great times in both Zagreb and in Bayreuth. So the thoughts I would say are, appreciate having you, thank you for everything you did, and I would invite everybody to just have a chat if you have any digital issues or problems that you need to discuss with someone where you feel like, hey, we need some more experts coming in. This would be it.
These are beautiful words. Thank you so much. Very kind of you, and I think this is a perfect moment to say thank you, and to say thanks to our audience as well. Talk to you soon, Moritz, offline, and I hope that we're going to have many more years together.
I sure do. Thank you, Philip. Have a great one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.